Hey guys, it's Chris, and it has been a while. There's a lot to catch up on, and as some of you already know, I've been on a long break because I'm officially a dad to a beautiful little boy. And between that and my regular job, life has gotten very, very busy. But whenever I can steal a moment, I work on the podcast behind the scenes, little by little. And I can't promise a strict release schedule yet, but I'm hoping to upload more stories a bit more consistently. So I appreciate all the messages you guys have been sending me, checking in, and I appreciate the patience and support during this absence. I do apologize for that, but life is life. And hopefully we can get more stories out there sooner than at least I have been. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into our shout outs for our newest Patreon members, more specifically, the Scaredy Cat tier. Huge thank you to Whitney, Nikki, Amy Nelson, Lindsay Harris, Terry Lynn, and a new tier member. This is our first tier member for the Frightened Furbies. We have our member, Mitch. Mitch, thank you so much for contributing to the Frightened Furbies tier. Really appreciate it. And if you're listening, please check your messages. I need your address so I can send you a sticker and thank you card. Thanks again for supporting the show through Patreon. It really means a lot. And if you guys are a fan of the podcast, Patreon is a great place to support the show, but also gain access to episodes completely ad-free starting at $1 a month. Check out our higher tiers for merchandise discount codes and more exclusive content made special for the Unnerved community. Try it out and you can cancel at any time. Visit patreon.com/unnervedpodcast or click the link in the show notes, and your support goes a long way to keep this show going. Thanks so much. Let's get into the story.
And all of a sudden, we hear music, and it sounded like there were people dancing on the dance floor above us. This is really freaky, man. Like, what is going on? Did we go back in time somehow?
From HV Studio, this is Unnerved.
Kaylee Cuoco and Sam Claflin star in the MGM Plus original series, Vanished. When the man Alice loves disappears on a train to the south of France, every romantic memory becomes evidence. Every intimate detail, a potential threat. She thought she knew everything about him, but she may not even know his real name. 4-part thriller Vanished premieres February 1st on MGM Plus. Finding the truth is a dangerous affair.
Welcome back to the Unnerved Podcast. It's where normal people share their abnormal stories, and if you enjoy true stories of the strange and terrifying, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Chris Fricke. What if the most unexplainable moment of your life didn't happen when you were searching for it, but when you were just trying to survive? What if something you were never meant to witness revealed itself simply because you wandered into a moment that wasn't intended for you? In today's story, Gary recalls a time as a reckless teenager sneaking out in the dead of winter with his friend. Their outing quickly turned into a genuine fight for survival. Cold, wet, and alone, with no one to call for help, they overheard something that wasn't meant for the living. This is his story.
Gary D. here in Southern Ontario. Back when I was, about 15 or 16 years old, being young and stupid and bored, a good friend of mine, John, two of us were always trying to find something to do. Because we were both night owls, we'd stay up late at night. We'd sneak out of the house. Your parents wouldn't know we were out. And we'd meet up, and close to where we lived, there was a large wooded area, a large park, baseball diamonds, and a lot of hiking trails, and cliffs going down to a lake. So anyways, on one of these bored occasions, we decided we'd go for a walk at about midnight. Nobody around, and it was the dead of winter. I think it was sometime in end of January or so. So it was freezing cold out, snow flurries, and we were walking through the woods, and we came upon this small, it was actually like either a small lake or a very large pond. I figure it's probably about 15 feet in the middle, 15 feet deep. We knew this place had a lot of snapping turtles and frogs and that type of thing. I'm not sure if there are any fish in there. But anyways, being the dead of winter, the surface had frozen over. And while we were just walking around, one of us jumped out on the ice, said, "Hey, this seems to be safe." Stupid people do stupid things. Like I say, when you're young, you do stupid things. Next thing you know, the two of us are standing in the middle of this small lake, just standing there talking. And all of a sudden, the ice gives way. We go crashing in the water. And it just hits you. Your body turns to lead, you lose your breath. And we're treading water trying to get out, and we figure that's probably the end of us. Luckily, there was a fallen tree close by. I was able to reach a branch, pull myself out. John grabbed my leg, and somehow he crawled over top of me to get up onto the branch. We got out of the water. Okay, the first problem was solved. The second problem was that it was like well below zero, freezing cold, windy, and we're soaking wet, we're drenched. We don't have the luxury of having a sauna close by or hot towels. And it's midnight, and for us to get home, we've got about a 15-minute jog, and there's no way we're going to make it. So we thought, what can we do? We're shaking like crazy. The water is freezing now, and our hair, we touch our hair, it's like frozen solid. Our clothes are getting very hard. So we start running, and we're shaking, and we thought there is a place that we could reach probably within about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes if we run. There were no houses around us, so there was no residential area. There was no gas station or any stores. The only thing that was close to us was an old abandoned dance hall from back in the 1920s or so. I know they used to have formal dances there. It has quite a history, but it had been shut down long ago. It was all boarded up, but you could still get up onto the dance floor area. We knew by having walked by there before that there was kind of a knee level, there were windows that were boarded up going into a basement below the dance floor, probably where they kept inventory. And we thought if we get there, we can kick the boards in, because they were just nailed in. We can kick the boards and get into the basement and probably find something down there to throw over us to warm up. Anyway, we ran like crazy. We like I say, we're a couple of popsicles running through the woods at midnight. This was before there weren't any cell phones to call for help. So we get to this place, to the dance hall there, and it's called the Pavilion. So we kicked and kicked and kicked. We managed to finally kick those wooden boards in. We get inside, we lower ourselves down. Like I say, it's in the basement. And luckily, I always kept a lighter in a little plastic bag in my pocket. So when I found the water, it did not get waterlogged and soaked. So I was able to light a lighter, reach around, and I found some old newspaper, rolled it up, basically made a torch out of it. Made a couple of torches. John and I just walked around, looked around. It was really cool down there. It was like old brick walls, very musty down there, a bunch of old barrels, and really run down. It looked like nobody had been in there for a long time. So we look around and we managed to find some potato sacks, like burlap sacks. So we kind of threw a bunch over our backs, wrapped them around our arms, and kind of, sat down on top of a barrel and kind of just shook back and forth, trying to warm up. And once we got a little bit warmer, we kind of investigated, walked around the basement, thought it looked pretty cool. And you have to figure, being by now, it's probably, 12:30 at night. And we hear nothing but the howling wind from that window we broke in. And you can hear the wind howling, dead silent, just our voices and us breathing heavily. And then the weirdest, craziest thing happened. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden, from above, we hear music, people laughing and talking. You can almost hear the clinking of glasses. And it sounded like there were people dancing on the dance floor above us, like dozens and dozens of people, like a loud crowd. It almost sounded like it was New Year's Eve somewhere. And there was like big band music playing. You could hear the horn section and just a big boisterous crowd. It's not like just one of us heard it and we're having a mental break or something. We were both listeners. Did you hear that? Yeah, I hear that. And then we hear somebody with a microphone talking to the crowd. And they're all clapping and cheering. And then another song starts. And then the dancing starts again. So this is going for a few minutes. Then suddenly just stops. Dead silence again. And all you hear is the wind blowing, us breathing. And we can look at each other and say, did that really happen just now? So we went around just kind of looking in the basement some more. And then another weird thing that we found down there, we found a huge pile, long, what we believed to be was human hair, like long curly hair, brown hair. Why would there be a woman's hair, or several women's hair, and laying in a big pile there? A huge pile of it that could have easily filled a couple of pillows, just laying there between the barrels. No blood or scalp or anything like that. So while we're there talking about it, trying to figure out what happened here, suddenly that music and dancing starts again up above us. So we're kind of looking at each other, eyebrows raised, going, holy crap, what's going on up there? There's no way there can actually be people up there dancing and talking and drinking. It's like close to 1 o'clock in the morning and it's pitch dark, so there's nobody out there. So we hear it again, same thing, the music, trumpets, the laughing, the clinking of glasses, and then somebody's yelling. And so we said, okay, let's, do we climb out the window, try to go up there and see what's going on? But then we saw an old wooden staircase going up from the basement, going up towards the floor of the dance floor. But we went up it and we banged on it, hoping someone would open it. Nothing. And we noticed there was a big chain and padlock on it. So there was somebody walking. We could hear the creaking of the floorboards. We heard heavy shoes. We heard the dancing. And we started yelling and yelling. Nothing. And again, just, suddenly it just stops. And again, we looked at each other and said, this is really freaky, man. Like, what is going on? And then we kind of warmed up enough so that we could, get home and hope that our parents didn't get up to check in our beds to see if we were there or not and call the police. But we crawled back out. We went up, looked at the dance floor area, which was right above us. We went up the little stairs that were on the outside. It was just pitch dark. It was just deserted. It was dirty. There was nothing there. There were no people. There was no band. There was there wasn't anything. It was just like a deserted dance floor with the wind howling through it with some snow laying on the floor. So we just kind of look at each other. We book it back home, and luckily our parents didn't find out that we'd gone over there and what had happened. They never found out that we fell through the ice, first of all, and almost died. And then we never told them about what happened with us breaking into that building, which could have gotten us into trouble. But what we did do is, I can't remember if it was the next day or a few days later, we went in the middle of the day. We went back to that pavilion to check it out. And we noticed that probably the park authorities or somebody had come along, put up new boards and screwed them in this time. So extra layers of wood, lots of screws, so there would be no way anybody could break in. And again, we looked up at the dance floor, and it had a heavy layer of, not dust, but it's like a filth. It hadn't been walked on or danced on in a long time. So again, we discussed it many times over the years, just saying, remember that freaky thing that happened? We knew, we joked around saying, what could it have been? Why did we hear that? Was it kind of a, did we go back in time somehow? Did we go into some invisible time machine? And we thought, well, maybe when we fell through the ice and both of us were just, close to death, maybe we were in the early stages of hypothermia or something, and our brains were going to mush and we're losing it. But how would the two of us both have the exact same thing happen to us at the same time and hear the same thing? But that's my story. But it was scary at the time, but really cool to think about now.
What makes Gary's story so unsettling isn't just what he heard, it's when he heard it. After a near-death experience, after cold shock, after exhaustion, and after fear. In medicine, there's something called cold water immersion shock, a physiological response that can disorient the brain, distort perception, and even cause hallucinations. There's also hypothermia, which can create confusion, auditory distortion, and time disorientation. So yes, it's possible that what Gary and John experienced was neurological. But there's a problem with that explanation. They heard the same thing at the same time in the same way. The same music, the same voices, the same sudden, impossible silence. Shared hallucinations are exceptionally rare, and the physical environment doesn't support the idea of actual people being present. The dance floor was locked, chained, and padlocked. When they went back later, it was empty, undisturbed, no footprints, no instruments, no signs of recent use. Just silence. Some researchers believe that certain places, especially those tied to intense emotional events, can hold on to fragments of experience. Not ghosts in the traditional sense, not conscious entities, but echoes. Moments replaying themselves, like an imprint in the environment. In this case, a dance hall filled with music, laughter, and movement, repeated long after the people are gone. If that's true, Gary and his friend didn't encounter something that was aware of them. They simply stumbled into a moment that wasn't meant for them. A moment that may have been replaying itself for decades, unseen and unnoticed, until two freezing teenagers drifted into a place that was never meant for the living. Thanks again for listening to Unnerved. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and leave a review wherever you get your podcast. And if you guys want to see photos related to each episode, be sure to follow our Instagram at UnnervedPodcast. And for ad-free episodes and bonus content, visit patreon.com/UnnervedPodcast. Until next time, take care.